Consider this simple health model, a chart with energy on the x-axis and stress on the y-axis. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where you fall on this map and more importantly, how to move towards healing and optimal health. This is one of the most powerful yet simple frameworks to understand the state of your body. Do not skip, watch till the end as the information I will provide will build upon one another. If you're in a hurry, bookmark or save this video and watch it when you're focused and not rushed. So if you're ready now, let's dive in. Here's the core principle. If your body is producing more energy than the stress it's under, you cannot get diseased, okay? But if stress outweighs energy, disease becomes inevitable. So what is stress really? Here is a beautiful truth. Your body does not care where the stress is coming from. To the body, stress is stress is stress. A heartbreak or a childhood trauma, a can of soda or a bag of fries, traffic jams, polluted air or over-exercising, all of it creates acidity in the body which causes cellular damage. Stress creates an acidic environment because acid burns, okay? Acid corrodes. But acid also protects, like the HCl acid in our stomach that kills all the pathogens before the partially digested food enters the small intestine. Okay? This elegant intelligence, where the body uses just one language to process all stress, it's called sophisticated simplicity. The degree of cellular damage depends on the intensity and frequency of that stressor. For instance, one can of soda once in a while, minimal damage. Soda every single day, chronic inflammation. A deep trauma ignored for years and decades. A silent acid bath on your cells every single day. And that's why stored emotions matter. That knot in your back or that tightness in your gut, that tension in your chest, those are not just physical issues, they are emotions, toxins, memories trapped in tissue. This is something I learned deeply during my time practicing Vipassana meditation. So in Vipassana, you train your mind to scan your entire body slowly and attentively. What I discovered is that the body holds memories far more deeply than the mind, and not just mental memories, emotional ones and energetic ones. So in Pali language, painful memories, the heavy dense ones are referred to as sthul or gross sensations. The lighter pleasant sensations are suksham or subtle. So through deep body scanning, you begin to locate where all these old painful impressions are stored, often in unexpected places. Probably a tight hip, a throbbing temple, a pressure behind your eyes. These are not just random, they are messages. They are the body's way of saying, this still lives here. So I won't go too far off track into meditation here, but I share this to emphasize one thing, that stress is not always visible and healing is not always about the surface. Okay, so circling back to our core topic, this was just a brief introduction, but essential one to what stress really is and why your energy to stress ratio is the foundation of your health. So let's take a quick look at the acid alkaline spectrum chart, which is a part of the EOB system, a master framework I have developed to help make sense of holistic nutrition. I call it the Elemental Organ Balance System, or EOB for short. It's a powerful and elegant integration of Eastern philosophies like TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, and Ayurveda. The system draws on the key frameworks like the 5-element chart and doshas and the acid alkaline spectrum. So I've created a detailed PDF explaining the EOB system. If you like a copy, just comment EOB below and I'll send it your way. Now on the acid alkaline spectrum chart, you'll find a range of factors, like emotions, mindsets, activities, foods, supplements, and beverages that either create stress and therefore cellular damage or promote healing and balance. So on one side are acidic, stress inducing influences. On the other side are alkaline, sattvic elements that support restoration and wellness. So as a thumb rule, optimal healing happens in a slightly alkaline environment. Okay, the first rule of naturopathy is that the body has the inherent ability to heal itself. It comes from the Latin word vis medicatrix naturae, and it means that the body is a self-healing organism. Given the right conditions, proper nutrition, rest, emotional balance, and removal of obstacle in this context, all the stressors, the body can return to a state of optimal health. So therefore, as healers, as a holistic nutrition coach, your role is not to cure disease, which of course is out of your scope of practice, but to support and stimulate the body's own healing processes. In fact, the best people to coach, yes, it's possible to choose your customer avatar, the kind of people you want to work with, and I believe that archetypes 1 and 3 are your best bet. We shall discuss the energy stress chart and the archetypes in just a while, but first let's just walk through the body's natural healing cycle, the steps in how the body actually heals. And don't be surprised when you see inflammation as an essential step in the healing process, and the immune system doubling down its role not just as an army to protect you from virus and bad bacteria, but also helping you with the healing process 24/7. So step 1 in the healing process is pain or injury. Okay, whether it's a cut, a twisted ankle, or an inflamed gut lining, or even emotional trauma, the very first sign is often pain or discomfort. This is your body's alarm system telling you something is wrong here. Pay attention. So pain is not the problem, guys. Pain is a messenger. And step 2 is inflammation. Within minutes, your body sends out its first responders, immune cells. One of the earliest and most important of these is histamine, which is a chemical released by the mast cells. Histamine increases blood flow to the area, making blood vessels more permeable. This allows key immune cells like neutrophils and macrophages and lymphocytes to enter the affected area. This stage is known as inflammation, and it might look like redness, swelling, heat, or tenderness. So inflammation is not bad. It's the essential groundwork for healing. Without inflammation, there is no healing. Let me repeat this. Without inflammation, there is no healing. Before we proceed, a quick note on the types of inflammation. So let's say you cut your finger while chopping onions. What happens? Intense pain, which signals immune cells. Blood rushes to that area, swelling, redness, platelets clot, and skin begins to regenerate. This is called acute inflammation. It's short, helpful, and essential to healing. But what about chronic inflammation? So now imagine stress and acidity are always present. Poor food, poor sleep, emotional trauma, toxic relationships. So your body goes into perpetual alarm mode. Okay, inflammation becomes chronic. And that's when we start seeing water retention, joint pain, bloating, brain fog, fatigue, autoimmune flares, edema, skin issues. Okay, and here's a twist. The medical industry often prescribes anti-inflammatories, suppressing the signal rather than addressing the root cause. It's like cutting the wire on a fire alarm instead of putting out the fire. So our job as healers, as holistic nutrition coaches, is to help people first to remove the root cause of stress, toxins, trauma, bad food, acidic environments. And second is to increase energy production through nutrient-dense foods, breath work, rest, and mindset. Okay, because healing isn't just about fighting disease, it's about restoring balance. And when energy rises, stress falls and the body heals. All right. Now, steps 3, 4, and 5 in the healing process can get a little bit science heavy for this video. If that kind of detail interests you, if you want to nerd out, feel free to check out our agency course. The link is in the description. But for now, let's bring our focus back to the energy stress chart and really dive into what really matters, which are the 4 health archetypes and where you might fall within them. As I walk you through each of these, I want you to really tune in and ask yourself honestly, where do you think you fall? Please let me know in the comments, and if you like the EOB guide, just comment EOB first and then followed by your archetype. So let's start with the first type. I feel more than half of the world's population lie in this category. These are individuals who are surviving, not thriving. They are stuck in a low vitality state, not because their environment is aggressively toxic or stressful, but because their internal systems are sluggish and undernourished. So basically, they are operating at approximately 30 to 40% of their true energy potential. They're constantly tired, but not fatigued enough to rest. They depend on external motivators to push through, like caffeine, doom scrolling, or bursts of willpower that don't last. Comfort habits become default, like skipping workouts, staying up late watching something mindless, snacking on junk food, avoiding water, and so forth. Some may smoke or drink occasionally, brushing it off as harmless. They fall sick more often than they admit, colds, headaches, gut issues that never fully go away. And somewhere deep down, they know they could be making better choices, but they are stuck. Okay, it's a loop. Stay late, wake up foggy, drag through the day, rinse and repeat. Okay, so here's what's going on under the hood. The mitochondria, those tiny powerhouses inside every cell, aren't producing enough energy. Detox isn't happening efficiently. The circadian rhythm is off, which messes up with sleep, mood, and digestion. The immune system is slightly suppressed. Inflammation is quietly building up in the background. It's not obvious yet. There is no diagnosed disease, but the biological terrain is weakening. Okay, they are not in pain, but they are not at peace either. And that's the tipping point. If they do not make changes soon, they'll slowly slide into chronic fatigue. And once that happens, and once that energy, the life force, the prana, the chi dips further, probably when life throws a curveball like emotional stress, a bad diet, or toxin exposure, they fall into the fatigue to disease pathway. Okay, people in this category don't even realize how poor their vitality is, because everyone feels like this, right? It's become the norm. But here's the truth. People in this archetype are not broken. They are just blocked. And the shift doesn't have to take years. With the right awareness, some small but consistent food upgrades, regular movement, breath work, and solid sleep habits, you can shift into the green, the thriving zone, in a matter of weeks. The body is that responsive, that body is that intelligent. All right? Let's dive into archetype 2. Fit but fried. Arguably the most misunderstood and overlooked category in modern wellness. This one is a bit personal because for the longest time possible, I belong to this category. I have more names for this category. Muscles on the outside, mayhem on the inside. Gym rat with a cortisol problem, the burnt out biohacker. These individuals look like the picture of health, but inside they are biologically burnt out. They are aesthetically fit, lean, muscular, active, driven, high performing, often type A, obsessively tracking steps, calories, macros, sleep, relying heavily on stimulants, caffeine, pre workouts, productivity hacks, but they are sleep deprived. And here's a deeper problem: they often wear it like a badge of honor. Actually, this was never an issue for me, to be honest. I have always prioritized sleep. Moving on, they are running on adrenal and cortisol. They are overscheduled, okay? Their workouts, meetings, contents, performance. They don't miss a workout, but they haven't had a truly restful sleep in months. Inside their body, things are slowly breaking down. Their mitochondria are still working overtime, but that energy output is no longer sustainable. Cortisol, the stress hormone, stays chronically high. The nervous system is stuck in overdrive, constantly on edge. Okay, gut health takes a hit with issues like bloating, sensitivities, and dysbiosis showing up. Hormones begin to down-regulate, thyroid function drops, sex hormones decline, melatonin production gets disrupted, and even though they look fit, okay, but they start to feel foggy, emotionally flat, and disconnected. Fitness becomes a form of therapy for them, but they're avoiding the real work, the real healing, things like unresolved trauma, chronic busyness, the kind we are always doing something but not actually moving forward. I love how Sadhguru puts it: anyone can work hard, but a wise person knows what, when, and how much to work. So that wisdom is missing here. Their diet might look healthy on the surface, but it's not aligned with real energy production. It's probably nutrient depleted, out of sync. So in a sense, they are biohacking their way into burnout. I'd say about 10 to 15% of people in the wellness world fall into this group, especially coaches, trainers, entrepreneurs, and high achievers. What they need is more discipline, okay, not more workouts. What they truly need is recovery, deep nervous system repair and reset, less hustle, more harmony. They need to prioritize deep rest over daily steps, gentle practices like breath work, yoga, barefoot walking. And by the way, if you are a holistic nutrition coach, this is a golden opportunity. These people already care about health. They just need to evolve, okay, from being shredded and stressed to being regulated and truly well. All right, now let's shift into the third archetype. This is the disease state. It's where no one wants to end up, but unfortunately many do, and not overnight. This happens over years and even decades of ignoring the signs. So before I go deeper, let me say this clearly. Being sick and being diseased are not the same. Even people in the optimal health category will fall sick once in a while. Probably a minor cold, a headache, a rough week. That's being sick. But disease is much deeper. Okay, it's when the body has become a bioaccumulating organism. They're holding on to toxins, trauma, and stress because their energy system and detox pathways have broken down. Okay, it happens when the body loses its ability to compensate. So chronic stress has completely overpowered its energy reserves. People in this state are exhausted even after rest. They're battling ongoing chronic illness or multiple diagnoses. They're reliant on multiple medications. They remain mentally foggy, emotionally numb, and spiritually disconnected. They're constantly inflamed, swelling, bloating, pain, and discomfort. They are no longer fighting something off. Their body is now fighting itself. Inside the body, the mitochondria are damaged and not producing enough energy. The immune system goes haywire, either too weak or attacking its own tissues. Hormone crashes, detox organs struggle, the gut-brain axis is off, skin Skin, mood, digestion all takes a hit. This is a stage where the body becomes a storage site for unresolved emotions, environmental toxins, and psychological waste. It's not adapting anymore, it's surviving, barely. So, how do people end up here? So, some come from the first archetype. They for a long period of time, they ignored the signs, the fatigue, the brain fog, the constant minor illnesses. They kept eating processed food, staying up late, letting stress pile on, okay, until the body couldn't take it anymore. Others come from the second archetype. They looked fit, so they thought they were fine, but the stress and overstimulation slowly depleted their adrenal reserves. Eventually, the body broke down. Maybe it looked like a sudden diagnosis, an autoimmune condition, PCOS, even a heart attack. But the truth is, it was building for years. Disease doesn't just appear one day. It builds slowly, quietly, like water eroding a rock. Okay? We are shocked when someone young dies of a heart attack. But what we don't see is the slow build-up of stress, of inflammation, of internal imbalance over time. This state, the disease state, I estimate affects 15 to 20% of urban adults, maybe even more. And what they need isn't just a diet plan or a supplement stack. They need a full system reset. Okay, the goal isn't to treat the symptoms first. The first goal is to restore. The first goal is to restore energy production and, of course, remove stressors, heal emotional wounds, rebuild the nervous system, detox, nourish, realign. And this is where your role as a coach becomes powerful, because you're not just offering surface level fixes. You're guiding people back to their innate health, to a place where the body can start to heal itself again. And disease is not the enemy. It's a message. Okay, your body is not broken. It's trying to survive the best it can. And healing doesn't come from fighting disease. It comes from rebuilding vitality, step by step, piece by piece. If you're still here listening to me, that's awesome. That's fabulous. You are clearly someone who's born to be a healer, a holistic nutrition coach with a powerful purpose to guide others from suboptimal health to optimal well-being. Now, as we reach the end of this journey, let's explore the fourth and final archetype. And honestly, this is where we all want to move toward. This is the thriving state, the green zone, where energy flows freely, where the body, mind, and spirit feel aligned. Okay, where health isn't a struggle, but a state of being. People in this state, they don't have to chase energy. It's available to them naturally. They wake up clear-headed, well-rested, ready to move. Their body feels light, strong, and responsive. Okay, the immune system is resilient. They bounce back from stress faster. And more importantly, they feel deeply connected to their emotions, to their breathing, their purpose. Okay? But let's be real. No one lives in this state 100% of the time. Life will always have its ups and downs. But people in this archetype have built enough vitality reserves to handle those fluctuations without crashing. They have done the work, not just physical, but emotional, mental, and energetic. So what sets them apart? They don't just eat clean, they eat intuitively. They know what their body needs and when. They've built rituals that nourish them. Movement, breathwork, sleep hygiene, sunlight, and connection. They aren't obsessively tracking, but they are deeply in tune. Okay, they know when to push, when to rest, when to fast, when to feast. The nervous system is well regulated. The gut and brain works as a team. Okay, the hormones flow in harmony with nature's rhythm. Biologically, they have robust mitochondrial function, which means their cells are literally buzzing with energy. Inflammation is low, the immune system is balanced, not overreacting, not underfunctioning. Hormones are stable, detox pathways are open, digestion is smooth, sleep is deep and reparative. Emotionally, they feel safe in their body. Spiritually, they feel guided. Okay, and here's a beautiful path. They didn't get here by doing something extraordinary. They got here by doing the foundational things with deep consistency. They prioritized alignment over ambition, restoration over reaction, and they didn't wait for a diagnosis to start healing. Most of them have journeyed through the earlier archetypes. They have felt the burnout, okay? They have experienced fatigue. Some may even have been through illness, but instead of getting stuck, they listened. They shifted. They took their body seriously. They stopped chasing quick fixes and began cultivating true wellness, layer by layer. Okay, so if you find yourself far from this state right now, I want you to know it's not out of reach. You do not need to be perfect. You just need to be present. Present enough to notice your patterns, brave enough to shift, and patient enough to let your body rebuild. Because that's what healing really is. It's not a sprint. It's a return to your body, to your breath, okay, to your innate intelligence. And as we close this out, let me remind you, wherever you are on this spectrum, whether you are surviving, striving, recovering, or thriving, you are not stuck. You are just on a journey, and every step counts. The goal isn't to chase the green zone like some unattainable perfection. The goal is to move towards it gently but consistently, to build vitality and not just avoid disease, okay? To listen when the body whispers and not wait until it screams. And if you are a coach, a healer, a wellness guide, your role is not to fix anyone. Your role is to walk beside them, to show them the map, to help them clear the blocks, nourish the systems, and trust the process. So take a moment now, reflect on where you are, and as a final reminder, if you want the EOB guide, which is a master framework, a blend of Eastern healing arts like Ayurveda and TCM, combined with the modern science of acid-alkaline spectrum, comment EOB below and I'll send it to you. Folks, your health is not a mystery. It's a process, a pattern, and once you understand where you are, you can begin the journey home to your energy, to your clarity, and to your full aliveness. And trust me, that journey is worth it.